Hey everyone, welcome back to this channel. If you're new, then welcome to this channel. Well, today we are going to work on our very first Python exercise, and it's super important one because that will help you to understand how to get user input and how to work with numbers and print the results. And it is the first exercise from our beginners flowchart series, and we are gonna build today together step by step. Ready? Let's go. All right, before we write any code, let's quickly look at what this program is supposed to do. Like according to the flow chart, here we start the program and we need two values A and B, and then we calculate the sum, which is sum equal to A plus B, and then we print the result and stop. That's it. So here, so our goal is to take two numbers from the user, add them and show the result. So now let's start with getting user input. So now how do we read values from the user? As I said before in the previous sessions, in Python we use built-in function called input, which is something like this. So A equal to input, and you can ask the user. And one more thing, input will not just take the values from the user, instead it will also print what user can see. Like it can also work something like print, because we even user must understand, right, what he is giving to the computer. So for that we can give something like enter the first number here itself. You don't have to print for that separately. And b equal to input and enter the second number. Okay. And this is really important here because input always returns a string. Even if the user types 10, Python reads it like text 10, not the number 10. Like, for example, if you run this and you can just print type of A. Okay. And now user will ask me the input. It will ask the user the input. Okay. Like for example, if I give 10 and enter the second number 3, and if you see the print type of A, which is actually printing a string. So it will actually take it as a string, not the number. So we have to convert the number. So what I'll do is I'll keep float here. Because float, this little guy helps us to convert a string into a decimal number. Wait, why not integers? That's a good question. Because int only works for whole numbers, but float works for both whole numbers and decimals. So it's safer and more flexible, right, compared to int. So that's why I took float. So let's also change it to float. And remember to keep the end bracket as well. And now whatever the user types, Python will treat it as a number we can work with. So like if I rerun this, see, now it's taking the input as float. All right, now time for the fun part, and let's add the two numbers. So for that, I'm going to create one more variable, which is sum, which is equal to A plus B. It's as simple as that. And now let's print the result. So here, instead of this, we can just print sum. This gives you a nice clean output, but let's just add the sum is something like this. So here comes the complete program altogether. Now, when you run this, like for example, first number maybe 12.5 because we used float, and second number 7.5, and the sum is 20.0. Boom, you have just written your very first program that actually accepts input and does calculations and gives you the output. I'm proud of you, truly. So let's do a super quick recap here. We have worked with input, which will actually get the text from the user, and float actually converts that text into numbers. And then here we are working on math. So plus operator is working on math, and print we actually showing the result using print. So, the pro tip for beginners, always keep that in mind that always convert your input if you're doing math. Don't forget that. You can use float over int as well if there's a chance of decimal input. So, don't overthink it, keep it simple, and build confidence. I hope you got my point, and that's it for exercise one. And you know how to read two numbers from the user and find their sum in Python. And this might seem small, but trust me, it's one of the most important building blocks that you'll use again and again. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next exercise in the Python's beginner series. And thanks for coding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.